Hey guys, we're going to talk about time management today. Time management is an essential skill that you need to learn and develop if you want to get things done, if you want to be a champion, an entrepreneur, anything that you're going to be working towards and you want to get ahead, you want to be learning things faster, you have to have good time management because there's things that you have to do in a day and there's things that you need that you don't necessarily need to do. There's things that you want to do, but you need to be able to manage the times with what you're supposed to do and what you want to be doing, and make sure you have a fine balance of both. Things that you have to be doing. For example, if you're a student, you have to be at school. Most people eat 2 to 3 times a day, maybe more. Those are things that you have to have in your day. People sleep. You have to have that time, 6 to 9 hours. People go to work. Maybe you have a part-time job, maybe you have a full-time job. You have to have those things you have during the day, and you know when and where you have to be at those places. Time to train is another example. In a day, you're going to block off each section. So think of it from 6 to 7. We have a jiu-jitsu class at 6 to 7. That time is already set. I have to be at jiu-jitsu. Now, between 7 and 8, there's a little bit of free time. But then from 8 to 9, I have strength and conditioning. So I know I have to be at a certain place from 8 to 9. There's nothing else that I'm going to be doing. But what I do between 7 and 8 is my time management, right? So as a person who runs a martial arts school, who does jiu-jitsu, I also teach Japanese during the week. I have family stuff. I have a family, family stuff. Anyways, so between 7 and 8, what I'll usually do is I'll do FaceTime. I'll do FaceTime because that's the time that my family's waking up. They're usually having breakfast. So I'll spend a little bit of time on the phone with my family. I need to eat. So that's when I'm going to go stop by the store and I'll maybe get some water. If I didn't bring my water bottle with me, I'll grab a little bit of food if I didn't pack my food with me. But I'll get some food ready for me for the day, or at least for the morning, so that I don't have to keep going back to a grocery store or keep going to a restaurant or something to get lunch or dinner. Maybe I'll do some business stuff between 7 and 8. But instead of having a maybe, you should have set times, a set agenda that you're going to do during that time, and being able to stick to that agenda is really important. So for most people, getting to work on time, getting to school on time isn't a big deal. If it is, then that's something that you need to work on. But then when we have those free times, there's certain things that you need to decide what it is you're going to do. And if you've planned ahead that this time is dedicated towards doing a certain thing, then you need to follow through with that. If you haven't planned ahead, what usually ends up happening is that time ends up becoming wasted, and it becomes, it could be very easy. It could be very easy for me to spend that hour just kind of hanging out, checking out YouTube videos, scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, checking out Snapchat stories. It'd be really easy for me to do that if I didn't have something that I knew that I wanted to do in that hour. An hour's a lot if you use that full hour. But if I let, 10, 20, 30 minutes go by doing stuff that I didn't intend to do, all of a sudden I only have 30 minutes. And really 30 minutes isn't 30 minutes because I need to get to my strength and conditioning gym so that I can do my workout. So I've lost, 5-10 minutes there. And all of a sudden, I have 20 minutes and I get nothing done. So it's really important that you're able to do time management. You have that skill planned out. For me, it's much more clear when you can see an example. So in the notes below, I'm going to attach a link that'll take you to my website. And the website will have an example of a template that I used and just a basic example of my schedule. And then also an example of just a template that you can download or you can print out and you can use for your own. You can even just use that template as an example for you to make your own templates. I've only done Monday through Friday, just to leave my Saturday and Sundays open. But usually I actually have something that's filled, Monday through Sunday. The website also has a couple important things talking about, if you have, let's say you don't have a set schedule. So some people go to work from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and that's that. But there's other people that their schedule rotates. So maybe they work 3 days on, 4 days off. People have these rotating schedules where their Monday through Fridays aren't always the same. It's really important that every time that schedule resets, that you reset your schedule template, your agenda, because otherwise, again, you're just going to end up not having a dedicated time slot for a specific thing that you want to get done, and you'll end up wasting your time because it's not on your mind, it's not on your agenda. So have developed this time management skill. Take some time. It'll take you 5-10 minutes if you have to do it every week. It'll take you 10-15 minutes if you're going to set something up for the first quarter of the year, the semester. I tend to do one every 3 or 4 months because that's when my schedule changes a little bit. So the winter from January through March or April, and then I switch it up come May all the way through July and August, and then I switch it up again September through October, November, December. So I guess I do it about 3 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year, where my schedule kind of shifts a little bit and I make adjustments. But I use the same template. I also recommend using color to designate what you're dedicating, and you'll see this in the example, but I use color to specific things that I'm doing so that it's color coordinated, and I know, maybe red is for my training, green is for family time, and you have different colors that go with different things. What else do I do? It's really, really important that you stick to that agenda. And it's important that it's realistic as well. What do I mean by it being realistic? So I found that when I get home at about 9:30, 10, between 9:30 and 10:15. And for me to get home and do any kind of work doesn't happen. I'm too tired. And so I come home, I eat a little bit of dinner, and I spend some time with my wife before we go to bed. Sometimes we're hanging out and talking. Sometimes we're reading a book together. Sometimes we're watching a movie. But it's just time that I come home and I unwind, talking with my wife. And so I don't put anything else during that time. For a student, maybe you're a high school or college student, to say that you're going to study from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a Friday night is probably not a realistic thing. You're going to be most likely be hanging out with your friends or watching TV or doing, going on the computer and hanging out and just having, it's going to be your fun time. So I also recommend having some time slots where, you have your school or your work, you have your workout times, time slots designated, and you also have family time, you have friend time, your social time, and sticking to it. As crazy as it might sound, and I heard this from Jocko, one of my friends he's a passionate about Jocko, who's written some great books. He has a great podcast. I highly recommend checking out his videos on YouTube as well. He's a great leadership, an example of great leadership. But Jocko talks about, sorry, my camera ran out of battery. But anyways, we were talking about Jocko, and Jocko's a great person if you're looking for more, if you're looking for leadership, examples of leadership. And in one of his examples, he talks about discipline and how discipline gives us freedom. As contradictory as that may sound, this makes sense. So this time management skill and taking the time to plan out your time, your time, and being able to manage that time is a skill, and it takes a little bit of discipline. Not too much, but just 5 to 10 minutes. And from there, following through with your time management, following through with the schedule that you've designated for yourself, that takes a little more discipline, right? And that gives, but again, being able to do that is going to give you so much freedom. It's going to give you freedom to be able to improve in the things that you want to improve, to be able to get done things that you want to get done, to enjoy the time that you're spending with your friends and your family, because you've already done the things, or you have things that you need to do at a certain time for work or for school or for homework, and that's enough time for you to be great at what it is that you want to do. It's really important. I highly recommend taking the time. If you have any questions about time management, you need any help, don't hesitate to let me know. If I can help, I'd be more than happy to be the one to help you. I'll see you guys on the mat.